Hey, what's up, guys? As if you're already not tracking it down or counting down, we only have a couple of weeks left for winter. So for those of you who have been waiting a long time for the warm weather to come, good news is you don't have that much longer to wait. For this video, I was actually able to sneak in one more day of paintball in the winter. And for those who have seen my most previous video, I titled that as Ice Ball. But this day actually takes the cake. This is more fitting for that title. As you can see here, this is a shot of the staging area. I actually got there early in the morning, and this is what I saw. In the staging area, there was a big sheet of ice everywhere. When I got there, people that were there early and some of the refs were playing on the ice, trying to walk and slide, and just having some fun. If anything, it would make great practice for sliding from one bunker to another as you shoot at your opponents. Kind of like an epic paintball move, like anime style. Now, as far as the rec fields and how they looked, as you can see in this picture, there were definitely quite a few ice patches, especially on the more popular fields and the more popular bunkers. So when you did play in those fields, you had to be careful in advancing from bunker to bunker. So you either just played in the back and played it safe, or if you decided to move up, you could either take a chance and step on the icy patches if you made it, and basically hope that you didn't have to make any sudden movements, or you didn't get caught in a snap battle where you had to go look in and out very quickly, or take the chance and stay back a little bit so you didn't have to step in the icy patches, but you left yourself open to people shooting from the corners or the sides. Now on this day, like I said before, I could only spend a couple of hours at the field, so I decided to get there early. And good news, there were already quite a few people early in the morning braving the cold just like I was to be able to play for a little bit, and that made for some very good games. Also, when I got there, there were quite a few people on the speedball field already getting ready. There was also some talk about not going into the snake because of the icy patches. Too bad I didn't really get a chance to see it, but people were saying that you had to be careful in sliding or diving into snake because there was a tendency of going off the field. I wish I was there to record a little bit, but I didn't get a chance to because I decided to just spend my time in the rec ball field and finally use another one of my neglected paintball items. It's actually been a while since the last time I used the pump, and I wanted to get used to using it again. And this was actually a really good day to get used to it again. It wasn't too busy, and which is why I decided to stay in the rec ball field to get a better feel for it again, which actually turned out to be good timing because of my several brain fart moments earlier in the day. These are just the things that any regular pumper gets accustomed to in terms of troubleshooting and being able to make sure everything was working perfectly. As you'll see here, I experienced quite a few barrel breaks earlier in the day, which got a little bit frustrating because I was trying to run down the list in my head on the things that could have caused it. I looked at the rotor to see if it was the rotor and the tension because it was cold, and I didn't want it to continue to keep breaking the paintballs as I played pump. I also looked at the way I use the pump handle. There were a few times I actually short stroked the pump, and I thought that was to blame with all the barrel breaks. And like anyone else who's experienced that before, it gets pretty annoying as you're playing, and every so often you get a barrel break, and then you have to deal with really inaccurate shots right after, and then just have to keep shooting until the barrel cleans itself out. I didn't bring a squeegee with me to the field, so I couldn't really do it in the middle, in the middle of the game, unless I took the barrel out and then used my pull through. Here's actually one part of one of the games where I managed to get to the other side and sneak up on one of the opponents and actually get to the bunker where he's at, and he's totally looking the other way, so I get a total clean shot. So instead of yelling surrender and scaring him, I decided to just shoot him in the vest, which wouldn't hurt. And lo and behold, I get a barrel break, and he gets scared anyway. But fortunately, before he realizes that it didn't really hit him, he surrendered anyway, because that could have been ugly, as if he turned around and shot at me because he realized nothing really hit him. Now, with all of that said, In this video, there's actually only 2 games towards at the end of the day where I finally figured out what the whole cause was. It turns out that even though it was the same paint, I just assumed that it was going to be small, just like the other paint I had used before, and I used a 678 back. Once I switched to a bigger bore, 685, I dealt with a little bit of the rollouts, but it actually shot as it should. No barrel breaks. It was pretty accurate, and I was able to enjoy the remaining games of the day. So I decided not to really put the games earlier in the day because it wouldn't be fun to see all the barrel breaks and inaccurate shots from all of that. So I decided to just put in the better games, the more accurate shots, because of the power of editing. So enough of all this talking, and let's actually finally get to some gameplay. So here we are towards field 1. As you can see, the snow or the ice wasn't too bad. It's not one of the more popular fields, but I'll take it. I decide to take the right side along with another person playing pump. It's actually a referee. He's actually a referee here, and I've played with him for quite a while. He's actually played a lot longer than I have, but it was refreshing to play with somebody who really communicates and calls out positions and telling his teammates what to do, because it encouraged me to try and do the same. That's still something that I need to work on when I do go and play. I will call out some positions, but I don't really listen to anybody else talking, or I might do it in the beginning and then just taper off and not really talk anymore. But with Miles playing on my side and he's just calling out positions, it really reminded me more on how to be a better player and communicate with everybody else. So right about now, he takes center, I take right, and we're just trying to get a feel for where the people are and if they're advancing and where we should go to try and advance as well. Now let me just fast forward this part of the game, because I was actually stuck behind this bunker for quite a few minutes just trying to figure out where people were. I didn't really have a good idea on where many of them were, and I was hesitant in trying to move up to the next bunker without knowing where they were. I just didn't want to be caught off guard on my left side if I did move up, especially with me being a pump. I couldn't compete with the firepower in case that person on my left had an electro. So I decided to just wait it out a little bit, and what I actually did after a while is double back to a bunker on my right. I don't know if you saw it right then and there, but I didn't realize at first that there was somebody there. So you'll see me double back, go to the side, and so I could figure out or have a better viewpoint on where they were. Now, like I said before in my other videos, I try not to share the bunker as best as I can, especially with this type of pyramid type bunker, because there's not that much room to be sharing. But you know, I had to go back so I could get a better idea on where the people were. But he was really cool with me sharing this bunker. I felt bad after a while because I didn't want to take his bunker. I didn't want to push him to the side because there was a guy on the back right. So I decided to take a step back, give him the room, his room back in the bunker. But in a few seconds, you'll see that he'll eventually get shot. I felt really bad. I hope it wasn't because of me that he eventually got shot. But you know, I just felt bad about that. But once he left, I was able to see where they were and finally feel comfortable enough in going over to another bunker. So here we are, or here I am moving up to the white bunker. As you can see, I'm pretty open on the left side, so that's one thing I was afraid of. And you'll see the group of blue bunkers up to my right. I call it a snake. And I don't know what I was thinking as I was shooting. I thought they were a little bit taller than they were supposed to be, and I don't know why I even ran and slid and dove on the ice Fortunately, I didn't get hurt, but once I got there, I realized how short they were. I don't know if you've ever done that in a game where from far away you thought it will give you enough cover, but once you got there, it's a little too short, so I couldn't really maneuver or get a good shot at people. But here I am sticking my neck out, and fortunately there were only one person left, so I didn't really have to worry about a whole bunch of people shooting at me from the top. And fortunately we were able to get him out and win this game. So here we are at the second game, same field, different side. And I apologize right in the beginning for playing around with the camera. I decided to put it ahead of us in the bunker to get a different point of view, as well as to get some nice action shots, and you know, the gratuitous Instagram photo. So please bear with me as I fast forward through this little part right here and get back to the gameplay. Now, the gameplay was basically similar to what we did the first game. I was going to take the right side, and Miles was going to take the middle and take it from there. As it turns out, we were kind of short, or we didn't have that many people on the left side. So you'll see after we get a good or a better gauge on where the people were, I decided to go on the left side to try and prevent the people that were on our left to take advantage of the field by getting more ground. So I decided to slowly move up to the left side, cut them off, as well as get a better angle on our opponents on the right. Now, if you notice, that's the same snake that I slid into in the previous game. And if you think, or if you thought that I was going to try that again, you are sorely mistaken, mister. I decided not to do that again because I had a better idea on where the people were, and it was pretty safe to move up to the blue barrels. Now, you also most likely saw that hit on the feed neck. That hit was actually not right here behind the white bunkers. If you rewind back to where we were breaking out, that hit was there. I'm assuming it was from the first game, which I did not realize. That hit on the feed neck later on was questioned, and I was pretty sure it wasn't from this game, and here is the proof of that hit. Like I said before, I don't really particularly like these pyramids, only because of the cracks in the middle. As you'll notice very soon, I take quite a few hits as they try to get one past the cracks, and there was quite a lot of splatter on me. And here I am just checking to see if any ones broke on my jersey, and I didn't really find anything. I heard something, but it was mostly splatter. That's to be expected if you decide to hide or use one of these bunkers. And I can't really blame anybody for trying to get one in there. That's certainly something I also do if I see somebody using these types of barrels, to try and hopefully get 1 out of 5, 1 out of 10, 1 out of 15 in those cracks, and hopefully have it break on the opponent. Now at this point we had the numbers again. I think there were about 3 or 4 people left on the other side. Actually one less, because you'll see one guy walking off the field now, and I think there was only 2 left. So we decided to take that opportunity to move up even more and try to get an angle on them. As I take the left side, I try to get a better angle on the back right, which worked. I don't think he was expecting them to be shot from the corner, and that leaves us with just 1 left. And pretty soon, with the adrenaline flowing through, I decide to try and do something that I usually don't do, especially with the pumpers. Even though I was running up to him, I don't think I even landed a ball on him. But fortunately, he just decided to let it go and give up the game. So thank you, Alex. Sorry about that. Thank you so much for not blasting me with that DM as I approached.
I don't think I shot him though. He just